I'm a partner with Borderless Capital. So we have been investing since 2018 with Borderless. We have multiple thematic funds focused on cross-chain interoperability, layer ones, layer twos. We also have a deepen focus thematic fund and in the process of launching a growth fund as well. And really excited to hear the pitches today.
Awesome.
So I'll
Thank you
keep it
for
short. Yeah. Mhm.
awesome, man. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And Jenny with HTX Ventures. Jenny, thanks for joining. If you give a brief introduction on yourself, would be awesome.
Hear me?
Yes.
Great. So yeah, I'm Jenny. I'm in charge of basically everything, including BD and events within HTX Ventures. So HTX Ventures is backed by HTX Exchange. We have investment, we have incubation, we have research. We look across all sectors with a focus within DeFi and infrastructure. So happy to explore more projects within this demo day and uh, thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Jenny. And the legend, and I think the only other person that may travel more than Toby in the crypto space, Anthony, who works with a couple different funds, Plume. Anthony, thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, I don't know. I think Toby and I are neck and neck on that one. I'm over in Korea right now, but happy to be joining in on this demo day. Um, yeah, a little bit about 280 Capital. Um, we are a Web3 native venture fund focused on investing in the bleeding edge innovators in the space. So we really put a big focus on founders. We love founders that, have a strong vision, have a strong plan. And what we like to do is we like to help incubate those founders in kind of bridging their relationships between the East and the West, or vice versa. So we've been operating as a venture fund in crypto since the early ICO days. And before that, we were, early BTC whales and whatnot. So very deeply kind of DeFi oriented, but are open to all verticals. So excited to see the projects today.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. And Jackie from Side Door Ventures, a OG homie. Jackie, thanks for joining us. Please share on how your work at Side Door.
Hey, Brad. Hey, Toby. Thanks again for having me. So my name is Jack Flashix. I'm an investor at Side Door Ventures, where I lead our blockchain and Web3 team. Side Door, we've got four main principal funds that we invest out of, all the way from pre-seed to Series B. And then specifically, the fund that's relevant for this call is our digital asset fund. We've been deploying capital since early 2022, have about 63 investments right now. In terms of our approach, we maintain a sector agnostic, geographically agnostic approach. And investing across L1s, L2s, DeFi infrastructure, DePIN, agentic workflows, etc. And happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. And Dr. Ankor from London Real Ventures, done a lot of deals together. Thanks for joining us, man.
And thanks, Brand. Thanks, Toby. Thanks for having me on the whole TBV team. So look, my name is Dr. Ankor. I'm the founding principal here at London Real Ventures. We're the investment arm of a media company. I always say the easiest way to think about it is Joe Rogan, just more professional with higher quality production. And what we do is we invest in our founders, and then we highlight those founders on that same platform where we've had 1,000+ industry giants from both Web2 and Web3. And we are looking to support founders who have a 10-year vision, not those who just have a 5-month or 10-month window. So that's us in a nutshell.
Awesome, man. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, guys, keeping it nice and short and sweet. Well, we are going to kick things off. I know there are a few other funds here. Thanks to you guys for joining, but we do want to get the show moving. And remember, after each company pitch will be 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes for Q&A, where anyone can ask questions and kind of dig in, and you can also introduce yourselves there as well. So the first company we're going to start with is also a good friend of mine, Charles from Resonance Security. Charles, you have 2 minutes. You're welcome to share your screen or just present yourself, but you have 2 minutes and you're on the clock.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was really great hearing your intros. I know I've met some of you. I'm on a family vacation in South Carolina at the moment, so I won't be on camera. All right, so I'll get right into it. We started about 2 years ago with a team of four, all technical folks in Web2 and Web3 cybersecurity, as well as consumer cybersecurity. We raised 1.5 million around a year back from Fabric, Arca, and BFF. 2023 was our first year. We doubled our revenue in 2024, and now we have 16 people, mostly security engineers and influencers. So over $10 trillion is estimated to have been lost in the last year alone due to cybersecurity attacks on businesses and individuals. In 2024, 2.2 billion was lost in crypto-related hack and exploits. That represents a 17% increase from 2023. So will your company be next? It's absolutely possible. So if you value your sleep and your peace of mind, you've moved all your cybersecurity functions to Resonance Security today. But why Resonance? Of course, there's thousands of Web2 and Web3 cybersecurity companies out there, and even some consumers options. But why choose Resonance? What makes us different? Resonance is the first to support truly plug and play, easy to use full spectrum cybersecurity for any scenario with the goal of saving you time now and in the future. This means that regardless of whether you're a publicly traded company, a Web3 startup, or just a person who cares about cybersecurity, Resonance's platform looks at everything you've already done, all the places you could be introducing vulnerabilities, and resolves them all before it's too late. It was built by cybersecurity experts to create an ever-evolving, automated, personalized plan that is easy to follow and provides ongoing coverage with no effort or technical experience needed, unlike the one-time audits and thousands of segmented, time-consuming, engineering-focused cybersecurity solutions available now. Not only that, but Resonance meticulously leverages emerging.
All right, sorry, Charles. That was 2 minutes. We have a tight ship here to run. So thank you for that, Charles. And now 3 minutes for Q&A from anyone here, especially the investors on the call for Charles.
Hey, Charles. Thanks so much for joining in despite your holiday. I would love to learn a bit more about the traction you had. Maybe you can share some numbers around that on the revenue side and how many projects you work with, just to put this all a bit in perspective.
Yeah, so to answer your question, in terms of the Web3 side, we've covered hundreds of smart contract audits in the Solidity and Rust space. So Solana, Near, Substrate, Cosmos, Bitcoin EVMs. We covered a lot of Web2 engagements as well. We've done a lot in terms of traction, in terms of revenue as well as customer numbers, and it's reflected in our monthly and quarterly reporting to our VCs. We doubled our revenue from 2023 to 2024, and we plan on 4xing further, seeing that this quarter already in 2025, we're about more than half of what our revenue was in the first half of 2023. So it's going quite well. We're aiming for around 3 million in revenue this year. Most of it is recurring revenue. So this year in 2024, or I should say last year, most of the revenue was turning into ARR from the 2023 revenue, which was mostly service revenue that we used to bootstrap the organization. It was all, most of it was converted into recurring revenue in 2024 because of the software. We're doing a lot in terms of things that other cybersecurity companies aren't doing. Like, we're the first to build an MCP server. If some of you haven't heard that term, it's essentially a tool that helps vibe coders and folks not using vibe coding, so that as they're coding, it's implementing cybersecurity frameworks to ensure that vulnerabilities aren't built into the code automatically and then deployed. So yeah, we're getting a lot more traction with Web2 projects this particular year and the end of 2024, around the the software, compliance and penetration testing. We do something where a company who already has established cybersecurity services can just call.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Charles. That was your three minutes on the Q&A side, and we'll move on to the next company. And so next up is Steve from Earnscape. Steve, you're on the clock for 2 minutes.
All right, thanks. I'm Steve, obviously, founder CEO of Earnscape. Earnscape is a all-in-one discovery, retention, and engagement solution for mobile games. So those of you with gaming investments should really like what we can do. We are not a game. We are a growth platform for games, just to make sure that that's pretty clear right out of the gate. So almost every game fails. There's a lot of reasons why. Most of us know them, but it all boils down to really there's too many games and they're hard to find. And on mobile, the problem's even worse because mobile's over half the market. So the problems are even bigger, and there's no real comprehensive solution. And what we do is we ensure that our partner games are discovered and played by the right people. So we build user profiles by buying player data as our users play any game on their phones. We use a mobile app to do this. And then we use AI to match them to partner games that we know that they'll enjoy because we've got the data to prove it. And on-chain rewards and progression turns those gamers into brand ambassadors. That has about a 100x better result for ad spend versus traditional discovery and retention platforms. And it encourages in-game spending, which increases game monetization, which is always really important. And we're using a lot of really cool tech, but one of the coolest ones is our mobile game streaming technology. This discovery tool hasn't actually existed for mobile. It's really onerous to live stream mobile games, and demand is pretty high for a streamlined solution. Over 150 million devices in Southeast Asia are going to get a partnership update. So we have a partnership that will integrate our streaming tech directly into these phones through an over-the-air update that's already locked in, and it's going to deliver over 150 million devices. So that's pretty massive. We have been running for a while, and our KPIs speak for themselves. Our sustained conversion rates are over 50% for the past quarter, and that's really hard to beat. And our retention rates are even higher. Studios and gamers are both really happy with our system and how much easier it makes their lives. Games suddenly have more.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. That was your two minutes. Now we'll go to questions. So any questions or feedback for Steve?
Yeah, quick question. Were you able to identify why the retention rate is so high? Like what particular features on the platform are so attractive to your users?
We use a lot of in-game questing to keep people coming back to the games that we match them to, and we keep them playing until they basically get addicted to the game. So at that point, we can pretty much withdraw all the rewards for the payouts because we bought enough data to know what you're going to need and know what games you're going to like, and then people just keep playing. It's really that simple.
I'll jump in with another question.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. No.
Yeah, I just want to know what's your biggest challenge over the next 9 to 12 months outside of a TGE or market sentiment?
We have to grow our user base and our number of games kind of connected at a kind of similar rate. We do support natively every game, and that means that we have a lot of data, but our AI is trained on the partnerships that we match games or the players we match games to. So we have to grow the number of games in parallel to the number of players, or our AI doesn't do as good of a job matching. And we found that as we increase the number of games, the AI gets better because we have more variety. So if we just massively grow our user base, then we'll be sending a lot of users to the same games. And that's kind of a problem because we even had this happen with one game where we sent them too many players and their servers couldn't handle the load. They went down. And obviously, we don't want to be doing that. So we have to make sure that we're not overwhelming the games. And we also have to make sure that we aren't sending too few games or players to games, because if we don't have enough games that we're sending players to, enough variety, then, or we have too many games and we're sending not enough players to each one, then the service isn't as valuable. So the biggest issue we have for the next several years basically is keeping those in check. And one of the solutions we have to that is our live streaming, because that fixes a lot of problems by helping direct people to different games better.
And then AJ also asked, how are you monetizing the mobile streaming?
Three ways. There's mostly the traditional ways that you see from YouTube. So there's in-app ad or in-stream ads. So you get a pre-roll ad every time you start, and then at a random point as you're watching, you get another ad. We split that with the streamer. There's also tips where you can tip because we're giving people some funds as we buy their data. So they have these funds sitting in their wallet. Oftentimes they tip the people that they like watching streams, or they'll subscribe to the stream and use those funds to do it. They also use those funds to buy in-game assets, which is awesome. But every time that happens, we make money from that because we take a percentage cut of each tip, each super chat, each paid subscription, each ad.
Okay, thank you, Steve. That is the 3 minutes on the Q&A side. And next we will go to Kevin of Uniblock. Kevin, you're on the clock for 2 minutes.
I was told to stay up beyond my bedtime because the sexiest people in the world are going to be on this call, and they actually delivered. So Uniblock, Crypto God Mode. Let's see here. We've got, let's see here. Where are we going? Okay, so right now crypto devs are building in mud. There's hundreds of blockchains. There's hundreds of platforms. The infrastructure sucks. We are the one platform to rule them all. You get instant access. You have all of the different tools. You have 53 different partners. You have over 100 blockchains. We have 1,500 APIs. We create load balancing. We save people a lot of money. We will always have the fastest endpoint. We'll always have the best data. We always have the most reliable data. We always have every endpoint. We can get to market really quickly. We can get to Solana in 24 hours. We can add a blockchain in 24 hours. Our data is the most rich. It's going to have every single bit of information because we do polyfill and we do a superset. We started monetizing about 5 months ago. We blew through $1 million in under 100 days. We're up well over $1 million now. We're cash flow positive. Great sales funnel. I'm the only salesperson. And it's going extremely well. We did 2.3 from a lot of the sexy people on this call. We still have about half of that because, well, we're generating cash flow. We're doing 4 million. We got a verbal commit this morning for most of that, but if you're still interested, we'll make sure that there's space on the cap table for you. And again, 1,500 APIs from 120 chains, all the partners, Alchemy, Morales, whatever. That's it.
Legend and under time. Amazing. Thank you, Kevin. And now we'll turn it over to Q&A for 3 minutes.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Kevin because on the Plume side, we're already a client of yours. So just wanted to say, been great working with you guys so far.
You rock. Thank you very much. You're one of our favorite customers. Appreciate you very much. That wasn't planted, by the way. I didn't know you'd be on the call.
How do you
one question I have.
Not a plan.
Okay, go ahead. No. Go
quickly,
ahead.
quickly sliding a question in. So how do you compare to other competitors?
So they're no competitors, and we work with everybody. We have 53 channel partnerships with Alchemy, Morales, QuickNode, all of the different players. They beat down our door to get into the room because we're sending them business, and nobody's doing this. This is a normal piece of the Web2 stack. Nobody built it. We left Coinbase to build it.
What's your business model?
Go ahead, Julie.
Like, how
Go
do you
ahead.
make money?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so customers buy compute units. Those compute units cost anywhere from $1. Our average customer is spending $1,300. They use those compute units across all of our partners, and they get to use them all they want. So that means it's very optimized, and they basically get to save a ton of money. Sorry, I'm being so quick because Brent's eventually just going to put the hammer down. I don't want to look like an idiot halfway through a sentence.
Let me jump in quick here. What's up, Kevin? Great to see you again.
Hey, buddy.
Why you guys? You said no one's doing this. Why are you guys the ones to do this?
We hired 10 engineers from Waterloo and University of Toronto, 10 machine learning engineers, and it took us 18 months to build it. We had an acquisition offer for $48 million about a month ago, and on it, the CEO screamed at his team, with $500 million, you guys told me we couldn't build this, and now they built it. And took us 18 months.
Because nobody wants to get cut off by Brent. See, he scared everybody now from asking
We
questions.
need a number counter somewhere. Everybody's like, crap, Brent's going to cut us off. I'm actually
Maybe
a lot nicer. Pardon?
On demo day 4, I'll have a running timer on these screen. But yeah, I'm just trying to just move that ship along. But Toby, I think you wanted to kind of chime in quickly.
Yeah, it's like As you're only one BD guy, I know you're a good one, but how do you think about scaling this, right? Because I mean, you only have 24 hours a day, and how does that work, and how is that scalable?
Yeah, we need to hire a sales team. The funding will be used for primarily two things. One, scaling our infrastructure. We're starting to get customers that are just gigantic and want to pay us a lot of money. We want to make sure that we can never go down. And the second thing is we actually need to have sales team. So I'm excited to go hire those people and make sure that we're getting the go to market. But yeah, keeping the product up and getting people in the door is going to be the plan. And yeah, I work like 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day, but that only scales so far.
Yeah, legend. Thank you, Kevin. And I gave you some extra time because Toby chimed in the last minute. So
Thank
all
you.
good. Crush that. All right, next we have Bashar of Odyssey. Bashar, you're on the clock for 2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bashar, co-founder of Odyssey Exchange, the only exchange that gives back. How is that? First, let's take a look at the standard CX model. They over-extract from founders and are boring for retail. So founders spend a bunch of money and tokens on listings. Then they have a 91% statistic chance to crash. In the end, they gift the CXs all the revenue that could be theirs. So they pay for their own funeral. For retail, it's about boredom. Thousands of trading pairs. You think this coin is different. Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down. You go to DEXs for variety, you end up with higher fees. And we can extract less because of in-house market maker revenue and tokens of our own. What does that mean? For founders, it's cheap services and exposure, an option to use our market maker, which can share perpetuals revenue with them. For retail, that means a secluded market without the big institutionals with their same coins, same market maker algorithms that follow Bitcoin. And a cherry on top is the futures liquidation rebates. So it's not just an exchange business, it's a token business. Founders and users bring revenue, and Odyssey itself as a market maker extracts value. And an exchange is only as good as its trading community. And that's what we've been doing for the 2 years before we built the CX, when we were doing meme coins. We onboarded more than 10K users on other CXs, generated more than 1 billion volume, 500,000 in NFT sales, and hundreds of thousands of fees in just a referral system. What do you have now? An MVP of a CX, 40 trading pairs, 4K users on the beta test, and 380K raised from the community. That's why I'm here. We're doing a fundraise, and we know how nobody loves investing in something that is yet to be developed for months on end. That's why we invested our time and money into this. Now we need your help to launch and onboard the first 20K users from our community. Thank you so much for your attention.
Awesome, Bashar, and right on time. Already, I'll turn it over to 3 minutes for Q&A.
Sorry, I might have missed it, but can you just go over all the ways that the token will be used and where the value pool is there? I think I might have missed that part.
No, I haven't said that. So Odyssey is a CX native token. There is not so much special about it besides it being a native token with all the standard features and access to launchpads, which one of the big things that we're going to be doing is reviving the launchpad meta.
Can you get into that a little bit deeper on the launchpad meta and how you plan to do that?
We will host launchpads on our CX. So Coinlist was quite popular in 2021, right? Why? Because tokens were shooting to the moon. All we have to do is onboard the right projects and offer them our services that with our market maker will allow them to excel. This is something that we're popular with in our region. Our home region is the CIS. People know us for that. And that's what we're going to offer to people.
I'll ask you a quick question. So, Bashar, you guys are doing the internal market making yourselves. Do you think that there could be possible issues with price impact with only one market maker, or are you guys going to like have multiple market makers involved?
This is regarding the coins we onboard from like low tier, mid tier projects. And when we're talking about top 20 coin market cap coins, they are, of course, listed and handled by Bitwind. This is our provider with mirror bots that just mirror liquidity from Binance and whatnot.
Cool, thank you.
I got one for you, Bashar. You said you're the first centralized exchange to give back to the community. How do you give back?
We give back to founders with sharing revenues from futures. Nobody does that. The exchanges, they just list you on futures and suck the money out of your project by themselves. And for users, we do that by liquidation cashbacks, essentially. You get liquidated, you get a cashback via liquidation. Quite generous,
Okay.
but it takes a heavy toll on the revenue. That's why what I'm saying is we have something to back it up, which is the in-house market maker that brings.
Alrighty, thank you, Bashar. That is 3 minutes, and we will go on to the next company, which I'm very excited to announce X Markets. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate your time, and you're on the clock for 2 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you, Brent. Okay. So have you ever have you ever read a viral tweet and thought, I'd bet money that's wrong? Well, now you actually can. I'm Will, one of the top 10 traders globally on Arbitrum's largest perp stacks, with a background in business development and systems engineering at a leading institutional crypto fund. My co-founder, AJ, is an MIT computer science engineer, a 2 times DeFi founder who has brought projects to 9 and 10-figure FDVs, and also a former ML engineer at Microsoft. Together, we're building X Markets, a creator-powered prediction market platform that lives on top of X. Verified users can launch their own prediction markets in under 2 minutes, earning a share of trading fees. This flips the traditional model. Instead of one platform pushing out all the markets, we empower individual market creators to distribute and promote their own prediction markets, unlocking a powerful network effect and virality. We've deeply integrated in the X ecosystem. Firstly, Grok, X's AI, helps us moderate and resolve markets transparently. Secondly, we've built a function allowing you to bet via tweet. Just reply to a market post, tag the X Markets bot, and place a limit order right on X. Third, users sign in with X, inherit their own social network, and see what friends are trading on without having to start from 0 followers. And with MoonPay, fiat on-ramp and off-ramps, it makes depositing extremely seamless for end users. We're currently raising 5 million at a 30 million post valuation. We've already raised a $750,000 seed round from massive KOLs and have landed a meeting with the ex-CEO Linda sometime next month. Prediction markets are the perfect native product for X. Viral, opinionated, real-time, and socially fueled. We're bringing the trading layer for the future of social media. That's all.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. Right on time. And now we'll turn over to 3 minutes for Q&A for Will and X Market.
Hey man, just curious how you what systems you put in place to avoid manipulation on the platform, because it seems like it'd be right for social engineering and such, right?
So markets are only initially resolved by Grok, and if there's a dispute, it fails over to UmaDAO, which is what Polymarket uses. And we're also looking into using community notes if it's a popular enough market topic. And I actually want to disagree with you on that. So, if I would challenge you to try to spoof Grok on who the president of the United States is. Like how would you do that? How would you?
You're the expert, not me. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so you can't do that.
Will, Jack Blashkis.
So you would say that it's manipulation proof then, basically.
I mean, look, it rolls over to UmaDAO, which is an optimistic oracle. We use Grok for resolution, which everybody trusts. People initially when we were pitching this, we started out with ChatGPT, and we realized a lot of people hate ChatGPT because it's woke, and so we pivoted to using Grok because it's the most trusted LLM, at least among smart people, right? So that's where we landed. And of course, if things are disputed, it gets injected to Grok a second time. If that's disputed, it goes to UmaDAO, and if it goes further, maybe we'll resolve it ourselves or hire industry experts on the topic.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, how do you guys win this market? Polymarket, Kalshi, now you have Myron Markets, is embedding into Twitter, YouTube, etc. So what is your guys' moat over the existing competitors in this landscape?
Yeah, so think of Pump.fun and OpenSea. Those are 2 platforms that allow individuals to come on and create their own NFT collections or their own meme coins. And these founders of the NFT collections or the meme coins, they distribute they like, we call it shilling. They shill their memes and their NFTs to their audience. And so by allowing individual founders to create prediction markets, this allows us to have better distribution. And on top of that, we're offering markets as a service. So like white labeling prediction markets for different organizations. So for example, right now we're working on a potential, not a sealed, but a potential deal with UFC where we will white label prediction markets inside of an app they're working on, and prevent other people from creating UFC markets besides them.
That makes sense.
Thanks. And guys, I'm going to drop my Telegram in the chat if anyone wants to reach out.
Yeah, for any founders, investors here, if you want to drop your Telegram, you need to connect offline as well. But Colin, really quick, you raised your hand, but we have like 10 seconds.
Quickly, first question, how are you going to position yourself for Polymarket? So you enter on the BD side, but in terms of positioning, how do you attract the initial liquidity? Second question, compliance side, how do you play? How do you fit, or even how do you leverage the regulation in place, like requalification as betting activity, etc.?
Do I have time to answer this, Brent?
Yeah, 20.
Why don't you
20
DM me?
seconds.
I put my Telegram in the chat. Just DM me these questions.
Okay, perfect. I muted myself on accident. Yeah, thank you, Will. And then next up, we have Brock from the indexing company. Brock, you are on the clock for 2 minutes.
Sweet. Good morning, everyone. I'm Brock. We are the indexing company. Let's dive in. So Web 1 introduced us to compute in homes and labs. We quickly realized that didn't scale. Web 2 brought us cloud compute. Today, massive data centers store and process everyone's data. Web 3 will bring about the next evolution of compute, one where we're finally able to tap into the world's idle data and compute by meeting it where it's at. This is the future that we're building. So we're rethinking the modern data stack from the ground up with 3 primary primitives. 1, federated storage, meet data where it's at instead of uploading to the cloud. 2, distribute compute, orchestrate processing across thousands of nodes to improve latency and lower costs simultaneously. And 3, decentralized incentives, where we empower humans, businesses, and agents alike to pay only for what they consume while simultaneously selling back their idle data and compute to the network. We call this new stack the neighborhood. And this isn't hypothetical. Over the last couple of years, we've generated over $300,000 in revenue working with Lighthouse customers across crypto and AI. Customers save over 70% on their data infra by simply not working with existing cloud solutions. We're the indexing company. If you're ready to help accelerate the next evolution of compute, please reach out. Thank you.
Can you talk a bit more about the team size and composition?
Yeah, absolutely. So team of 5 at the moment, 2 co-founders. We've been building in Web3 since 2017, 10 plus years building data-driven startups. I was at Coinbase before all this, and we have members from RGA and SpaceX as well.
Yeah, and sorry, just also add, yeah, so now we're with 3 minutes for Q&A, and thanks for coming on, Abe, also great to see you.
Can you share a little bit like where you are right now in terms of like the traction piece? Is this whole thing pre-revenue? Maybe I missed this during the chat, but
no,
just a quick
you're all
update.
good. Yeah, so we've generated about $300,000 in revenue over the last couple of years. So we've worked with these companies as well as others and across all different segments in crypto and AI. Yeah, really focused on Web3 as a go-to-market strategy at the moment, just as the data starts open and permissionless already.
And as you're offering so many different, sort of areas of engagement that are listed here, what's kind of the main thing these guys are using you guys? Because they probably have like a specific piece, right?
Yeah, and that's been kind of the secret that we've been tapping into. Every company is different. Every company needs different data. And so we're selling them infrastructure that empowers them to take control of this pipeline itself and get that data when and where they need it. So kind of the common thread with most of our customers today is that they're building data-driven products, usually in Web3, so doing something with blockchain data.
Got it. You've been in operation for a few years. But I mean, you're ex-Coinbase, so you also know that 300 grand is both impressive from the standpoint that you have any revenue, but also not very much for a few years. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on what your value proposition is, given that you have a very high level of description of what you do, but if you can go one level down in terms of what you actually do, how do you meet that data and those resources where they are?
Absolutely. Yeah. So the reality is we really spent the last 2 years proving that any of this was possible. And so we've done that with early customers and generating some revenue, but admittedly, it's not a lot. And so we're ready to scale. And what we've done in the past and kind of today is we meet the data where it's at in its raw form. So raw blockchain data. We meet customers where they're at with their infrastructure, their databases, web ports, Kafka queues, you name it. And we apply our distributed compute layer in between. So they get to decide where the data ends up and how it's processed without having to care about the infrastructure itself. And so what we're raising for now is to build the decentralized incentive layer as well as hire a sales team to essentially 10x our revenue.
Awesome. Thank you, Brock. Appreciate it. Very good job. And now we will go to our two wildcard pitches, which the first will be Victor from MIGA. Victor, you have a 1-minute pitch and 1 minute for Q&A. Victor, the floor is yours.
Hey, Brad, thank you very much. Hey, everyone, my name is Victor. I'm the CEO and co-founder for MIGA. At MIGA, we are building AI agent for DeFi and crypto trading with ZK Proofed. All of our product is AI-powered signal with ELISA OS, ChatGPT, machine learning back, and connecting with all the infra on crypto trading, data indexer, CoinGecko, Binance Live, and so forth. Our product is live. Of course, we are backed by Amber Group, Red Ventures, IBC, Techstars, Chainlink, and more. So we have tremendous traction since we launched more than 1 month ago. We have grown to 20,000 in 6 weeks and growing more than 20% week-over-week. Our MIGA XBT active users averages at 2,500 daily, and we have processed more than 118,000 transactions in 6 weeks. We are also a winner for CD5 AI Agent Hackathon at first prize. There are more than 160 AI agent projects applied, and we actually won the first prize. Our biggest innovation is on.
Awesome. Thank you, Victor. That was your one minute. And then we have a quick 1 minute for Q&A for Victor.
Can you share a little bit more about the team that's behind this whole thing? And you have to unmute yourself.
Thanks. Yeah. Not sure who asked, but anyway, our team, so essentially, we are a team of native Web3 developers. We have been building Web3 since 2018. Phil and did some project in 2021. We are a full-time team of 9 working from Southeast Asia, and we've been working ever since, right? So I'm Victor. I used to launch DAO Ventures, X4B, Standard Chartered Bank, XOMG, yeah, and more.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Toby.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from projects? I haven't heard of anyone that's talked about this kind of mechanism before. I think your main issue would have to be what your rate of adoption is, given the struggles for investors to exit even in this kind of environment.
We are providing the validator and machine learning back data, right, for the AI through AI agent and machine learning for the users and the traders. Our algorithm and the algo and the machine learning and all of these, right, are done similar to how retail investors using it for advanced trading. We are combining perpetual open interest spot trading from the exchanges, including Binance, to get all this data, right? So the feedback has been quite good because people are using us instead of drawing their own chart. So that's why we have actually massive adoption from the user base, right, who are actually trading. These are the trading with alpha groups, not the one that you listen to, like the funding, where these are the actual people who are trading on the Teji and the alpha groups and the paid groups, right? And they're using our AI agent for that.
Sure. So part of the value proposition on that slide says that no dumping by insiders, right? How do you prevent that dumping?
Yeah, because the normal KOL, they will actually give you alpha, then they will dump on you. That's what the whole market is, right? Nobody want to invest because of this. Our data is all machine learning driven. We have no control over how the AI agent process the data. Therefore, we are actually immune to that, right? The information doesn't come from the AI telling you there's a signal to buy. It's all just based on the data, on the trading signal, on open interest, futures, spot, and on-chain data, right? which is why it's immutable, and which is why it's fair to prevent the dumping from the influencers and all the trading groups.
Right, but I mean, they could also trade on other exchanges simultaneously, right? So, I mean, does that limit the amount of that value that you deliver effectively for that part of it?
Eric, maybe I can chat more with you. I can put there. We can discuss more, just like any other discussion. I can put my Telegram there. We can chat more, or you can put. I can add you. Yep. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Eric, and thank you, Victor. Next up, we'll have Nick from Dash Fund. Nick, you're on the clock for 2 minutes.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. I'm with Dash Fund Gaming. Apologies, it's not nearly 4 a.m. for me, so I'll get into it. So, imagine a gaming industry where players aren't just consumers, but active economic participants, and creators aren't stifled by monopolies. Today, traditional gaming locks out innovation and leaves players on the sidelines. At Dash Fund, we're breaking that mold with AI and Web3. So we're democratizing game development and building a thriving gaming economy for all. Dash Fund allows all of our users to create and play, leveraging AI-driven tools and tokenized ecosystem. Players earn rewards, creators monetize almost instantly. And the beauty of this is that the Web3 channels offer our platform the perfect medium at scale at a low cost. So think task platforms like Galx, community campaigns, and exchange partnerships. The Web3 gaming market is currently exploding, projected to hit 37 billion by 2025, and we're riding that wave. So our traction speaks for itself. We've had a 2-week pre-launch campaign, netted over 21,000 unique visitors, over 15,000 Telegram members, and over 5,000 Twitter followers, around a 5 cents customer acquisition cost, with a 30-day lifetime value of around $2.11. And obviously, if you're familiar with mobile gaming, that's an incredible metric. We launched our Telegram mini app last week, which is already on track to getting over 11,000 new visitors to the platform, and we're seeing around 2,000 more each day. We've already got over 41,000 community members, 16,000 ex-followers, and we've raised over $1 million from top-tier VCs like Gate Labs and KuCoin Ventures. So our team is made up with seasoned professionals who have worked together for close to 20 years. Co-founders Bryce and Marco have held key roles in some of the largest gaming studios and worked on some of the highest grossing mobile games in the mobile market, as well as MMOs that have reached millions of users. So with a proven model, exponential market growth, and a launch-ready platform, we're poised to redefine gaming. And that's it.
Legend, right under 2 minutes. Thank you, Nick. Now we'll turn over to Q&A.
What's going on, Nick? Great to see you again. Look, Web3 gaming, obviously the sentiment is not the greatest, taking quite a hit. How are you guys different? How do you change the narrative about Web3 gaming?
So what we're trying to introduce here is kind of like an ecosystem for all. So in most gaming areas that you play with now, you put money in. When you kind of leave that game, there's no money out. It's just the investment you've put in is lost. So what we're trying to introduce is, obviously we've launched at the moment with over 100 active games. When you put money in, you can put it into anything that's in the ecosystem itself. So we're trying to make sure that people's initial investments, what they want, can be explored across every single game that we actually host. This leaves, gamers not feeling disgruntled. I've done it myself. I'm a gamer. I used to play Valorant. I've put, probably thousands of pounds into this game, and then now I don't even play it anymore. So we're trying to bring in that community vibe, bring it so, when people do put the money in, it's not just money in, lost. You can actually transfer it across multiple different games, use it wherever you are, and try and bring that kind of revenue model into, the gaming industry as it is today.
Appreciate it.
Hi, Nick. Thank you for the presentation. I know, like for gaming example, it's pretty global, but sometimes geographic as well, right? Like in terms of focus, right? What are kind of geographic regions you guys are trying to target?
So because we're obviously, we're hosting on the Telegram, so we're doing a Telegram DApp. This is going to be more for obviously the Western kind of market. There's no actual platform at the moment for the Western market other than Telegram. We're also going to be looking at, a development on Line and Kakao, which is going to hit the Asian markets. And then we'll also have, mobile apps, tablet apps, website as well. So it's going to be on the website. We're going to try and get on every single platform possible to hit every single market and make sure that everyone has something that they're comfortable to use to actually play our games on.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nick. Is there any other questions? Nick, you can drop your Telegram in the chat. People can send a DM as well. And then lastly, we will also bring on, because every time we have 2 wild cards, and Corey from Hexagon Studio. Corey, thanks for joining us, and you're on the clock for 1 minute.
Yeah, let me pull my slides up really quick. All right. Good to see you guys. Awesome. So we're Hexagon Studios. We're launched in 2021, a team of accomplished entrepreneurs. In 2023, we launched our flagship title, which is Honeyland. It is the top mobile game on Solana already. And we're now moving to Ronin. We're strategically going to be backed by Sky Mavis. And we're raising 5 million to really scale it into Ronin's next flagship title. This is really the model here. So Honeyland right now is Mario. Ronin becomes the mushroom that gives us a lot of additional exposure, publishing, marketing. And then the 5 million round really becomes the fireball to just take us to the next level. So top mobile game, moving to Ronin, strategically backed by Sky Mavis, and with a whole slew of capital to really deploy strategically. Some really impressive stats of just where we are today in terms of DAU, ARPDAU, return on reward spend, token deposit to withdrawals. We can get through all that stuff. I'm going to skip through to kind of this one here. So this is where we are today, is kind of currently there's token sinks, ARPDAU, and token price are kind of the three things that we can modify. And through deploying this capital into user acquisition, which is a true expertise of ours, the goal is to get DAU up, to get ARPDAU up, and then token price, and we can see where these start to scale in a really, really meaningful way. And then this sets the stage for our expansion title, which we're already working on right now, which is a real stakes PvP game.
Thank you, Corey. That was 1 minute. And I'll turn over to Q&A for Corey and Hexagon Studios. Looks like AJ asked, concerned at all about the isolationism of moving to Ronin?
No, I mean, so there's a settlement chain and there's the ability to go out and get ecosystem players. And so the idea would be moving assets as a settlement chain to Ronin, but still opening up the ability to on-ramp through just about every chain. I think that's an incredibly important part of growing a Web3 gaming ecosystem.
And when do you expect this to be online live, go live?
Yeah, so Honeyland's been live for 2 years now. This expansion of Hive Class, which is a big booster to to kind of the project, but the goal is truly to make Honeyland the biggest game. The Hive Class becomes kind of the second act to it, but we'll be live in Q4 of this year. We'll be playtesting in Q3. We've already got the GDD. We've already started art. We're pretty far down the road.
Got it. Thank you.
So what does it mean by you moving to Ronin, actually? If it's multi-chain and I mean, are you migrating Solana users or are you keeping them on Solana? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's really about the support that you can get from the chain by basically moving assets there. So we would move assets from Solana over to Ronin. Doesn't mean that players can't connect or log in from different places, but all the settlement, all the NFTs, all the tokens live on Ronin. And the incentive for us to do that is that we get an insane amount of not only financial, but marketing and go-to-market and publishing support from Ronin. So anybody can build on Ronin, but they select a few, very select handful of projects to invest into. And with that comes a ton of their backing and what I like to call hero making. And so that's the huge benefit for us. They've spotted just an incredible project that they want, and they're willing to throw a bunch of support behind. So there's kind of that Ronin effect to the small few that they invest in.
Gotcha. Thanks.
I don't know if I missed this, but are they also supporting you?
What does that mean? Financially?
Yeah.
So Sky Mavis will be a strategic lead in this round. And then Sky Mavis is the company behind Ronin, as well as Axie Infinity, for those who are unaware of kind of what that whole relationship is.
Thank you.
And I think we have time for one more question, which AJ mentioned. What was peak DAU and when? What is current DAU? And is this a dual token gaming project?
So peak DAU, peak DAU is about 12,000. Current DAU is about 3,000. Happy to justify kind of where all that's going. We focus far more on building product than players. We're now really ready to start focus on building players. The ecosystem is set. It is absolutely dialed from an economic and a gameplay model. And then it's a single token model.
Okay, legend. Awesome, man. You had a very good pitch. We could stop sharing your screen, but everyone, just want to say thank you from Toby and I. Toby, if you want to chime in, please do as well. But thank you guys for attending. This is our third demo day. We do these every single month. I mentioned on the call or in the chat as well, we get 200 plus requests every single month for companies that want to present. So if you guys do, I put Eliana's Telegram in the chat as well. So please reach out to her if you'd like to present next month. And maybe Toby, a couple words on what we have coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much all for joining, and huge congrats and kudos to all the founders. I know how hard it is, and many of you stayed up throughout the whole night in different parts of the world. So really, really appreciate this. And then, of course, also thanks to all the investors that are here that ask a lot of smart questions. So yeah, see you guys in the next one, and also anyone who goes to Token 2049 Dubai, happy to catch up there in person.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We'll see you all soon at a conference near you. Bye.